Welcome to Montessori Matters with Blessing Fort-Ike. In my last video, I discussed sensitive period for language, sensitive period for refinement of the senses, and sensitive period for tiny details. In this video, I will discuss other sensitive periods and how to take advantage of them. The first one I want to talk about is sensitive period for order. This sensitive period begins to show itself in the second year of the child's life, and it lasts for about 2 years, reaching its peak at the third year of the child's life. During this period, the child wants everything to be in its place as it was first perceived by the child. The activities must always take known routine, that you shouldn't change the routine within the child's day. It must follow the routine each day of the child. That is what the sensitive period demands for. But I must say this, the sensitive period for order is that they want, for an adult, you want everywhere to be organized, everywhere to be neat. But to the child, the way the child perceives order is different from the way adults perceive it. The child wants everything to follow set routine. Everything should be in its place, the way the child first perceived it. Let's say the child first perceived that handbags should be on the dining table. For that child, once the bag is on the dining table, everywhere is orderly. That place is orderly, because that was how the child first perceived it. So whenever you remove that bag from the dining table, you have disorganized the place. The child can get upset and want to bring back the bag to that place so that everything will be orderly, because the child is in the sensitive period for order. The child will want everything to follow set routine. For an adult, to keep a place neat is what order is. The place must be neat and organized. But to a child, is following the sequence of activity that leads to the place being neat. Let me give you an example. To an adult, for the place to be neat is to clear up everything that is there, everything that ought not to be there, away from the environment. But to the child, you will say to keep the place neat is that you must get a broom, you must get dustpan. After that, you will sweep. After sweeping, you will clear up the dirt and you go empty the dirt in the waste bin. To the child, that is order. But to an adult, that is not order. What the adult wants is that let the place be neat. So the child must follow the sequence of activity. So I will say the sensitive period for order is characterized by consistency and repetition to the child. So the child wants consistency, the child wants repetition. The child wants to follow established routine. If this is not followed, the child will be upset. And sometimes adults within the environment might not know why the child is upset. It's because you've caused disorder in the child's environment. Some children can cry, they can even yearn. So we refuse to do anything except order is restored. So why am I saying this? As parents, as caregivers, teachers, it is expected of us that during this period or all through the child's life, we should model the right behavior before them from day one. And everything should be kept in its place from beginning. That means everything should be well organized, well arranged within the child's environment, whether it's in the classroom or at home. From day one, everything should be kept in place. By doing this, you are enriching the child's sensitive period for order to work. So it will enable the child to be orderly from a very tender age, from a very young age. You will see children being organized. They learn how to keep things. Everything is kept in their place. And the child follows suit because you took advantage of the sensitive period for order. Another sensitive period I want to talk about is sensitive period for movement. And from day 1 to about 2 years of the child's life, the child is in a sensitive period for movement. The child wants to move. The child, how does this thing show up? Let me see. From beginning, the child is totally helpless. The child cannot move anything. So gradually, the child begins to move. He will start with his moving of his hand, later his arms, later his finger, later his legs. You see him, the child will start moving with his butt on the floor, maybe creeping, crawling, and later the child will learn the difficulty in balancing on his 2 feet and walking. That is, you understand, the 2 legs, walking on his 2 feet. All this is what the sensitive period enables the child to do. Because the child is in sensitive period for walking, so the child will experiment. All this movement that the child is making is by experiment, and the child perfects it by practice. That is why the child wants repetition. The child wants to do it over and over again. The child wants to run up the stairs and down the stairs. The child wants to crawl all over the classroom or all over the room, because the child is in the sensitive period for movement. The child has moved and know that by experimenting, know that when I move my hand like this, I can shift. Once I move my bumper like this, I can shift. So the child wants to do it over and over again. You want to practice it to perfect it. That is the sensitive period for movement. So what are we supposed to do as caregivers, parents, educators? We are to clear the place of any obstacle that will hinder the child's free movement, that will hinder the child's physical development. The children should go on walks. They should go to places that they can run, places that they can walk freely. The home, the classroom should be spacious. Like I said before, any hindrances, maybe anything that will stop the child from moving freely should be taken away. That is how you can help the child during the sensitive period for movement. You don't have much to do. You don't have to start teaching the child how to walk. The inner teacher that is empowered by the sensitive period will tell the child to stand up. Maybe the child falls. You see the child will stand up all over again to learn how to walk. What you just need is to make the environment suitable for the child. I believe you have learned a lot about this sensitive period. I must say this. Movement plays a vital role in the intellectual development of the child. So allow the child to move freely. You are empowering the child to grow in his intellect.